last 10 minutes all you've done is talk to me about how that referee's a cheat against Wigan. So how can he be both? And then he didn't really... Then he grasped it and wasn't slagging the referee off for the rest of the game. Obviously the odd 50-50 that goes against us, and it felt like the 50-50s were going against us when we were shitter, and they felt like they were going back for us when we were better, which is exactly the nature of the sport.
It always feels, exactly.
Yeah. There was one where Danny Brough took the ball out to play it on the 10 metre line, and they thought, why has he done that? Why is he refereeing the game? Blah, 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 blah. But it was because Wigan's player had knocked on rather than been tackled and stuff like that. Just constant bullshit. But then the Huddersfield fans were talking how, biased the referees were because a very, very close call went against them.
Yeah.
It's just fucking mind-blowing, Tom.
Yeah.
But anyway, a draw was a fair result. Neither side was good enough.
There you go.
Martin Rigid was injured in the first half. Huddersfield fans swear down it was a disgusting late high tackle. What happened was he'd passed the ball and a committed Ryan Sutton, heavy, big bloke, hit him fraction of a second after he'd passed the ball. But his body was really sideways.
Right.
So he ran, his chest, Ryan Sutton's chest went bang into his shoulder. And then he got up, tried to play on, put a pass through, and his shoulder just went, and that was 2 minutes after. So then he went off. That did affect their pattern of play because...
Well, Ridge has been good for them.
He has been good for them. But yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, well, what did the stats tell us then? Do the stats bear out a draw?
Well, for the conditions, it was quite a low error count, 8 errors each. Breaks were hard to come by, 3 for 2 win for the Giants, according to the statsmen on that count. I'm not convinced Wigan didn't have a break that they're not credited him for, but anyway. Giants just made more ground, 23 more metres off 17 more carries. That was bumped up by the carry figure was bumped up by a 16-7 successful offload win for the Giants. Wigan made better ground, 0.5 metres per carry average gain better than the Giants, and had better discipline overall on the 7-5 penalty count. Huddersfield bust more tackles and put in a 5.3% better team tackling display on as a result of that. But yeah, other than that stat, they're all very, very even. Well, the metres per carry is quite a gap, I suppose. But yeah, other than the 5.3%, very even stats. So you would say bears out that there's a draw. Neither team could break each other down particularly.
Okay. No. Individually, who stood out for us then? Who stood out for... We'll go for the home side since it's a draw. Who stood out for the Giants?
Leroy Cudjoe got a try and a set, 160 metres running. Jeremy McGilvery a try, 193 metres. Cruz Leeming, very dynamic out of dummy half, played the full game, 48 tackles, 11 mark tackles, 105 metres. So obviously he was feigning that jaw injury last week. That got me all excited like he wasn't playing, and then he plays a blinder. Sebastian Ikehifo, 9 tackle busts, 189 metres, 6 tackle busts, and Ryan Hinchcliffe gets in there with a try assist, that should be, and which I think was a marginal forward pass too, but you could talk about that all the time. 40 tackles by Ryan Hinchcliffe is the headline figure there. He was everywhere in defence, and I really did notice that in the game as well, that he was everywhere in defence, so I'm glad that the stats back that up. But yeah, those first 4 were the only attacking threats in this game for that side of the ball. And
on the other side,
Liam Marshall, 2 tries, 112 metres, 2 special efforts by him, like we've come accustomed to seeing him finish off. John Bateman a try, 131 metres. Liam Farrell, 47 tackles, 153 metres. That back row duo is the best in the league without question. Willie Isa, 143 metres, had one of his best games for Wigan. Tom Davies, 143 metres as well, had a week out at the side, but picked up where he left off in terms of making loads of ground.
There you go. At the same time
Willie Isa's got a grade A dangerous contact charge. I'm not sure where that was for or within the game. Right. So we'll wait until we get more info on that. But yeah, he has an EGP, so he should be able to play next week.
Fantastic. Well, at the same time, Hull FC were moving themselves up into second place in the table with a 40 points to 18 victory over Wakefield Trinity in front of 10,895, and this was biasly refereed by Chris Kendall.
Yeah, no, he obviously hates Wakefield, hates Hull FC, hates everyone.
Yeah.
Scumbags.
Full of hate. Poor old Chris Kendall, what an awful life it must be. Who got in touch with us?
South Africa Rugby League referee. You're permanently on bias agendas, aren't you?
Absolutely.
You plough that furrow for yourself, Tom. You have to face the consequences.
It must just be so hard remembering who you have to be biased against all the time.
Sarah McKenzie got in touch. A dull first 50 minutes saw Wakey deservedly in front. We were falling off tackles and not making enough yards. A seeker tackle resembling a tank hitting Grix after he took a kick woke everyone up. Sneyd and Shaw scored lovely tries, but final score flattered us.
Rich Langley said, Hull left it late but turned on the gas to dominate the second half. Injury after injury makes this a long crisis. But we have the men to get through it. Mahe is going to be a massive gap to fill, and I mean both literally and figuratively. Second in the table and a semi-final to boot are not a bad 2 weeks. A separate report on Tackle 52's testimonial Rugby Golf Day will follow. Yeah, I saw you update his profile picture as well, Rich.
Yeah, he sent us an email today, but too late, obviously, today for the show rundown craft. So we're going to talk about that a bit more next week. But yeah, was it him and Albert Kelly?
Oh, I didn't look that deeply in the picture. I just saw Rich kind of about to kick / tee off, and thought that's a cool picture, and then carried on scrolling.
Well, we'll talk a lot more about that next week.
Into it.
So if anyone else was at the Danny Houghton testimonial Rugby Golf Day, you get in touch as well and fill us some more stories. AK Steel 69, Tom.
Oh, I always like these. I'm just going to close my eyes and listen to it. What does he or she say?
He says, if ever a game swung on one incident, then this was it. Wakey with a better side for almost 3/4 of the match, full of energy and enthusiasm, and playing the ball very fast. That was until Kyle Wood threw a speculator in his own 20, which was reeled in by Connor, Mr. Tickle Arms. After that, Wakey's enthusiasm disappeared faster than an erection following a guest appearance from Katie Hopkins on Babe Station.
Oh my god. Oh, an absolutely horrid image. Right, we're all men of the world here. We've all had a look. Right? Let's just say that.
Babe Station,
we've all had a look. But the idea of Katie Hopkins holding a phone between her tits, seductively peering out of the screen, urging you to call in, is one that I will carry with me to my grave, Mr. Steele. So
we've all had a look, but Tom's had a serious, like...
Oh, look, we're all men of the world. Let's not fucking turn it into something it isn't, right? We're all fucking grown men and we've all been left on our own at night. So we've all had a fucking look at them, haven't we? Let's just let that be the level, okay? There's two things... There's two
shall we move on to John Scatter?
No, I feel like I need to talk about Babe Station a bit more.
I feel like Scoots would very much like us to not talk more about Babe Station.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to next week's feedback where she has to explain it to Josh.
Joshua isn't going to listen to this week's show.
I suspect not. I suspect that we might have to send her a warning. Okay. John Scatter. Anyway. Oh, is it me to read it out?
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to read it.
No, I've done AK Steel.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about Babe Station, wasn't I? John Scotter, for 60 minutes in a case of After the Lord Mayor's Show. We kept in it by Wood gifting Connor a try. Transformed by a monster Manu hit on Grix, woke the crowd and team up. Easy last 20 minutes that flattered the FC. So, agreeing with his progeny there.
You wouldn't. I wouldn't have taken that, like, story of the game that we've got from all four of those guys. From the highlights.
Yeah, no, the highlights.
The highlights suggested that Wakefield were not at it all game, even though they were ahead at half time, because the tries that Hull scored seemed relatively walk through.
Yeah, I mean they were. But then, to the same token, a couple of Wakefields looked like they were like James Batchelor's, and then I forget who scored the second one, but they were almost carbon copies of each other. They sort of hit that left side of that first left channel on Hull's defence, and.
So it been Reece Lynn's track there, maybe.
Through might have been Reece Lynn. Certainly James Batchelor. James Batchelor was slightly more impressive, but then the second one that followed it, we'll say Reece Lynn, I forget now. He had a bit more work to do in terms of shaking people up, but Batchelor's try looked good. But it looked like they'd found those kind of thoroughfares, but they were individual tries, if you see what I mean. They were kind of lads running the ball from 20 metres out. It wasn't big set plays or anything that indicated that Wakefield were
Hull's tries were mostly off the back of, half breaking a tackle and getting a neat offload away. That's actually going to be one of the stats throws of the game. And when I saw the stats after watching the highlights and seeing how many offloads there were in Hull's scores, I was thinking, I said last week, I'm starting to believe in Hull at long last after the last few games, putting in full performances against Salford and against Castleford. Now, it sounds like they haven't done that again here. They've managed to put some points on in the end as Wakefield have dropped off. Wakefield have legitimately had an injury situation to talk about. Had a few had a few come back in this one. BJB and Tupu and Bachelor and Bright Eyes were all back in the side.
It just goes to show how much they do not rely, but what a massive impact having someone like a David Fifita coming off the bench makes for you. Was Hugh back in this one? I can't remember now.
I believe we can check.
We can always find out, can't we?
Yeah.
But it just goes
to fact checking on the go.
It does just
Who'd have thought the Super League pod would do this?
We're a fluid, well-oiled machine. But it does go to show what. All right, did. Well, then it further reiterates to me what an influence David Fifita is at that club. Then in terms of what he brings them off the bench, because he's a powerful ball runner and get the ball away early, and it adds a lot to their attack, doesn't it? When an opposition set of forwards are starting to tie.
Sam Williams' try might be the one you're referring to, because that was the one just before half time, and that'll have come from the middle of the field, sort of inside. Yeah,
there you go.
The Riesling one was at the start of the second half.
Okay,
but it was the Fanua try and Shaw's second try in particular, where the offloads came to the fore. Turgot's try was embarrassing for Wakefield.
Yeah,
but that was right at the end of the game, wasn't it? They were spent. Nothing's come of the Mahe Fanua Craig Hooby fight actually at the start of the game on the disciplinary, but Anakin's been given a grade A kicking out charge, and Fash has been given a grade A dangerous contact charge.
There you go. Right.
So,
stats then, what does that tell us?
This game had the joint most successful offloads of any game this season, 37 in total, 21 to 16 in Hull's favour.
Just after I've talked about how important David Fifita's offloads are.
Yeah.
There you
go. Also in Hull's favour was every key number but errors, losing that one 14 to 11. 3.8% better team tackle success, 2 fewer penalties conceded, 10 to 4 in clean breaks, 1.1 metres per carry better average game for 233 metres overall more. Off a similar amount of carries actually as well, so they really did make more of the ball they had. So maybe those Hull fans have been a little bit down, or maybe it all did come in that last 20 minutes or so.
There you go. So what did the Wakefield Trinity players, or what did the individual stats tell us?
Jamie Shaw 2 tries, 9 tackles, 179 metres for Tuli Talon Noah. 1 try, 136 metres. Mahe Fanua, 1 try, 192 metres, 5 tackles. Liam Watts, 148 metres, 3 successful offloads, and he actually appeared a couple of times in some of the tries, didn't he? So playing some good ball there, the big forward. Seeker Manu, 1 try assist, 126 metres, 3 successful offloads.
There we go. And for the Trinity?
Riesling with a try, 113 metres. Mason Caton Brown 169 metres, Bill Tupu 137 metres, as well as 3 successful offloads. Adam Walker 137 metres off the bench for him, and Kyle Wood 41 tackles, worked hard out there at hooker.
There you go. So continuing with the Friday Night Lights theme, Leeds Rhinos took on Castleford down at Headingley. It finished 12 points to 23 in favour of the Tigers. In front of 18,029. Refereed quite terribly by Robert Hicks.
Yeah, I think I saw that was the largest ever attendance for a Super League game between these two sides.
Fantastic.
They played in Magic, didn't they? So non-Magic.
Yeah. Fabulous. And what a game to go and see.
Mitchell Dart says, Zach's tried just after half-time hurt, and then Cass find a way to score literally from nothing, which really put us out of reach. We were gifted 2 tries, so I thank Cass for that. Otherwise, not sure we would have crossed the line. On a positive, our defeat margin is now a respectable 11 points in the last 2 games against Cass. So that's something.
Yeah, you're reeling them back in, aren't you, gradually? John Hamilton said the ref is probably going to get a lot of grief over this game, but it was a thriller. Leeds did well to hold it so close in the first half, but didn't really offer much in attack, past capitalising on 2 bad Tigers mistakes. Also, couldn't hold on to the ball. Cass are superb, and I've gone right off Luke Gale. Jeff from Peep Show is developing a touch of the Danny Bruffs as well. Who's Jeff from Peep Show?
Jeff in Peep Show is the knobhead guy in Mark's office that ends up getting with Sophie.
That's right, yeah. Okay.
Isn't he? That's Jeff, yeah.
I haven't seen a tremendous amount.
But I don't think he looks too much like Luke Gale.
No. Unless, is he not the one that ends up, do not he and Corrigan both fancy Dobby or something? Is it?
No, that's he's Gerard,
right?
Is the one who is competing for Dobby's affections. yeah, Luke Gale has become a bit arrogant, but we've talked about this